Total Drama Island is the season that started it all, on an island with 22 contestants competing in deadly challenges for the $100,000 grand prize. So many memorable challenges from this season, such as I Triple Dog Dare You, and even down to the simplest challenges, that being the classic game of dodgeball. They would later continue the franchise by changing up the formula setting in Action and World Tour, but by All-Stars and Pockettail, the series had already left us feeling dissatisfied and honestly disappointed. I would overall describe the Total Drama franchise as a roller coaster. You know, it had its ups and its downs, giving us good quality content like the Redonkulous Race, as well as bad content with Dramarama. So being a fan of this franchise for over a decade now, having it technically end abruptly with Pockettail Island, it was very hard, especially knowing how bad it turned out, compared to what we've seen before. So when they finally came out and said, we'll be getting 2 brand new seasons of Total Drama back in February 2021, I was pretty hyped, but also worried that these new seasons would be on the same level if not worse than All-Stars and Pockettail. So when Total Drama returns, we'll be ready for it. So grab your popcorn, turn on your TV, and watch some List of Legends. So before we dive into everything, be sure to click that like and subscribe button if you like my content. Without further options, let's begin. Now, if you have been living under Patrick's rock, I honestly don't blame you because the news surrounding these new seasons have been kept relatively quiet and vague, but hey, that's what I'm here for. So we'll have 2 new seasons, of course, with a total of 26 half-hour episodes, as well as 16 brand new contestants. Which, news update, here they are now. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a fan-made cast, this is the real deal, this is what we will be seeing on our TV screens. So, based off the 13 episode count for each season and the 16 new contestants, if you do the math, obviously they'd have to have double eliminations, which isn't terrible, but with a total of 26 episodes, with this new cast, it'll give us more time to get to know these new characters, unless they pull a world tour and add some of the characters for the second seasons, like how they added Alejandro and Sierra. Honestly, who knows? Speaking of the cast, I've seen a lot of negativity surrounding the new characters' designs, with some saying they look super bland and whatnot, or how it immediately deters them from watching, which isn't very fair considering we haven't even met these characters. We don't know what their personalities are like, what are their strategies, will they be a hero, an anti-hero, will they be a villain, or all of the above. We just don't know yet. In all honesty though, I think the crew did a great job with the characters' designs. I mean, right off the bat, I'm so digging this purple hair girl. You can tell she's gonna blow the competition away. Like, I don't know, man, I sense some Izzy vibes coming from her, but with Heather's strategic nature, if that makes sense. The guy in the blue button-up shirt, I'm feeling some Noah and Spud from the Redonkulous Race kind of vibes, like he's super brain Jimmy Neutron level smart, but really lazy. The guy next to Chris with the red hat looks to be the amputee, which if that's the case, super cool, love his design. The girl with the green pants I could see being an Eva 2.0, but actually doing stuff. I also wonder who the 2 LGBTQ characters will be. I have no doubt in my mind that they'll be fan favorites for sure. All in all, pretty solid cast, at least from what I can speculate so far. Like, I don't see any characters that would act like a first boot, no wizard costumes, nothing like that. They genuinely feel like actual good quality characters, which as I've said many times before, Total Drama Island is loved by many for its realism, simplisticness, something that didn't feel too cartoonish. Like Chris is a guy that could actually have his own show, along with his co-host Chef Hatchet, who seems to be sporting a similar design to his Dramarama look, which I don't think that is that big of a deal, but I know many are hoping they bring back his classic look. Anyways, the point is when Total Drama Island returns, it's going to be a field day, bringing everyone back together, speculating the many characters and what their next move in the competition will be, as well as the many opportunities and directions they could go with these new seasons. One of the biggest opportunities they could exploit is having the return of the old contestants, as they confirmed the previous seasons did happen. So what could they do with this potential, you may ask? Well, they could do the return of the Aftermath show, having the old contestants give their thoughts on the newbie strategies and methods of playing the game. Now right away, I think that is probably the best route they could take, but they could also just do mini segments like having them return as quick interns for the challenge or do some demonstrations, kinda like how the cameos were presented in Revenge of the Island. By bringing back the old characters, this could be a chance for at least some redemption, specifically of heavily derailed characters like Courtney, Duncan, Gwen, turning Ezekiel and Dakota human again, all of which would be really great to see. Now, I know some are wanting the old characters to return as full-on contestants, but in my honest opinion, I don't think that's very likely. Reason being, since it looks like the crew is wanting to focus on today's teens to a brand new generation of viewers, I do think we'll see references to the old characters, but not in a major role, if that makes sense. The next big opportunity they have is brand new season settings. If these new seasons are received well and have fans wanting more and more, we could see another brand new location. Sure, they could just go back to action or do another variation of World Tour, which would be alright I guess, but I think it would be even cooler to see something completely different and unique. I mean, with Pockettail Island we saw an artificial one, which I thought was a very cool concept, but they didn't do much with it. As for my suggestions, I think it'd be cool to see an extreme season on Boney Island. That would be pretty cool. I know many people keep asking, will it be the same island, since we did see it sink at the end of All Stars, and my guess is that they'll have a brand new island, not the artificial island, not the one from Pockettail Island, a brand new island they'll rebrand as Camp Wawanakwa. Another great opportunity they have is adding 2 actual main antagonists. Since Action and Pockettail kinda lack that, I mean World Tour kinda did it, but Heather's main goal was taking down Alejandro, so it would be cool this time to see 2 actual main antagonists in one season. Basically a villain versus a villain, which also would make for a really great finale. As I said, yes, we saw it with Heather versus Alejandro, but again, I'm talking about a whole season built up where both antagonists are limiting people left and right, rather than one only going after the other, if that makes sense. We also can't forget about the challenges. I mean, just like the characters, the challenges are a big staple of Total Drama, so it's really important they don't cut corners on this. Based off what we know so far, we can expect to see extreme baking, TikToking, drag racing, and horror movie inspired challenges, all of which sounds really great. Sure, the TikToking may sound a bit scary, but hopefully with Chris spicing it up in his own way, it won't be the cringy side of things if you know what I mean. Honestly, as long as we don't see any lame rehashes of previous challenges we already saw before, like we saw heavily on All Stars, then I'm on board. So I think the most important thing from all of this is that they don't fix issues that aren't really even issues in the first place. Basically, if it's not broken, then don't fix it. But knowing how All Stars and Pockettail was received, I would assume they've taken notes, went back, seeing all the mistakes they made, so they know not to make those same mistakes again. All Stars failed because of the lack of interactions with a combination of Gen 1 and 2, as well as the many derailments of our beloved characters. Pockettail Island failed because of the lack of identity with the artificial island, and most of the cast was just outright unlikable. So with all this in mind, it's good that they're going back to basics, to good old Camp Wawanakwa, with a brand new generation of contestants. Overall though, I'm sure the next big question will be, how does the revival stack up to the original? Will it capture the level of quality Total Drama Island once had, or will it be a total dud? I for one will say that when Total Drama Island returns, it will be the deciding factor on what we could see in the future, whether it be old contestants returning in some way, newly modernized challenges, as well as new innovations for future seasons. But most importantly, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Are you hyped for the new Total Drama Island, or does having new faces this time around not pique your interest? Let me know down in the comments, and hopefully we can see a release date announcement sooner rather than later. Alright viewers, that's the end of our list. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I would greatly appreciate it, as well as let me know what lists you'd like to see next. With all that said, I look forward to seeing you with our next list.